Dear Mr. Sonavan, the President of FIABCI Asia Pacific, and all the audience joining us today, and ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Vietnam National Real Estate Association, and in the name of our chairman, Mr. Nguyễn Nam, I am very happy to join the webinar of ours today. I am speaking not from Hanoi, the capital city of Vietnam, but from Phú Quốc Island. As at the beginning, I told you, because of the social distancing and limit of transportation, so I also cannot come back to Hanoi. So very nice to meet you. And today, I would like to share with you about outlook of post-COVID-19 real estate market in Vietnam. So there are three things to share with you. Number one, about how the COVID-19 impacts to the world. And secondly, how the COVID-19 impacts to the Vietnam, our country. And lastly, it is how the COVID-19 impacts to our sector, real estate sector of Vietnam. For the first thing, all of us know that the COVID-19 come suddenly, make to the whole world a shock. They come very fast and impacted with the worst, impact in about 100 years. And the world up to today, 6 a.m., we have the total confirmed cases of over 1.8 million persons, and number of deaths is over 180, and number of recovered is about 412,000. And the COVID-19 over 200 countries and territories. And the COVID-19 impacted badly to the world economy. According to the IMF, the forecast in January, the global economy growth as only about 0.4% in 2020 and maybe slightly up in 2021. But now after 2 months, maybe the forecast turned upside down already. And it is extremely bad impacted. Why? Because due to the high level globalization stage, the outbreak has multiplied very bad impact to many times to the world, our economy, especially the top 10 countries of USA, China, Japan, Germany, up to Canada. You can see the chart one, Fulbright. The top 10 countries of the world take 66% of the GDP, global GDP, and also cover 62% of the confirmed cases and 61% of the death cases. And how COVID-19, impacted to Vietnam. So far, we have total confirmed, cases is only 262, death 0, and recover 144, and we are ranking 103rd among over 200 countries and territories in the world. And for the economy, it is also very, very bad impacted to Vietnam economy in circumstance that our country is a very small economy with GDP of 2019 less than 300 billion American dollars, but very open. So far we have signed 16 FTA, including WTO, CPTPP, FTA. Our import-export volume doubles our GDP to show that our economy is very, very open. And at the same time, our economy depends much on the FDI. 70% of import-export volume come from the FDI sectors. And these main factors show Vietnam economy has very badly hit by the COVID-19. And for the first quarter of 2020, only 3.8% of GDP growth. And even though it is still among highest growth in the world, but the second quarter, we are sure that it is dropping down very much. And the CPI at the same time increases. You can see through the chart number 2. And the World Bank forecast the whole year GDP growth of Vietnam is about 4.8%, but it is maybe changed dramatically. It depends on how we can stop, the coronavirus at the first quarter, or the second quarter or the third quarter. You can see the chart. The first quarter of 2017, 2018, and 2019, and the first quarter of 2020, and the CPI as well. You can see the GDP is going down and the CPI is going up. And how Vietnam is dealing with COVID-19? We, at the beginning, the government and the people consider the COVID-19 like fighting with the war, in the war with this COVID. So the government actively, put the utmost priority is to win at the soonest to save the people's lives, enterprises, banking system, and to gain the public trust, So they brought out the support package with fiscal and monetary public investment measures. And we are going to pour about 50 billion American dollars into the economy to support the households, to support, the enterprises, families, and the people of Vietnam. And the last one is how COVID-19 badly impacted to the real estate. Maybe likely the tourism, hotels, condo hotels, resorts have been almost shut down. The housing, very few transactions so far has been made in the next 2-3 months. And office rate of empty space increases. And in general, the supply and demand drop suddenly. But we believe strongly that the real estate market of Vietnam will have optimistic future. Why? Because we have the support factors like the above stated first successful steps in the combat of the Vietnamese government and Vietnamese people against the COVID-19. And secondly, the government brought out fiscal and monetary and the public investment policies as a support package of about 50 billion American dollars. And our population now at the golden structure and among the leading top urbanization countries, and increasing the demand of the housing for the medium term and the long term. And the Vietnamese people have habit to save money to buy property. Look back in the history, we still have the habit to save the money to buy the property. And the last one is the overseas remittances. You know that Vietnam, we got about 5 million overseas Vietnamese, and every year they send back home about 17 billion American dollars in 2019, and every year it is increasing about 10%. For the future of real estate in Vietnam, as I said above, thanks to the first successful steps in the fight with COVID-19, Vietnam is very potential safe travel destination. So the tourism, we believe strongly that it will bounce back. And thanks to the COVID, on the positive things is it will push our economy more digitally, more work like online economy, remote working, and online businesses. And for the housing, remains one of the investment safe havens of Vietnam. And the COVID-19 also try to move, the international movement of factories to Vietnam, leading to increasing demand for the industrial and office real estate, also for the housing and tourism properties as well. And the last one is the whole Vietnam nation, people, and the government have the same, desire for the powerful Vietnam. We government, enterprises, and people will do everything in this mid of COVID-19 to win the virus as soon as possible and to make this desire happen from now on. And look at the history. The Homo sapiens have facing many viruses like this, but every time the human being have won, and overcome all the challenges of the virus, of the circumstances like this, to have the civilized society like today. So as a Vietnamese and as an enterprise owner of Vietnam, we very strongly believe that this COVID-19 will be cured once the vaccine has been produced and our life, our business flow will come back to a very new normal. Thank you very much for your attention.